Scotty, beam me up.
Oh. Smash. Get over here.
It is pointless to resist.
All right. We are back on the Geek Den.
We're back.
We got our buddy Chris Styles, Pop Culture Punk. What's up?
What up, guys? Thanks so much for having me back on Den.
Dude, it's been so fucking long.
I know. I missed you guys. I got to see Kreger a couple times at cons.
Yeah.
I almost got to see James. I haven't seen Joe in a very long time, so send some love to Joe. We miss you, buddy. But I don't know. I hope there's a con in Canada I can get to, Matt, one of these days or something. It's just my life dream to go Canadian style. And why aren't there more movies like that? There's a lot of Hawaiian style stuff. Why isn't Canada like destination filmmaking? Because it is. Everyone shoots in Canada. So why isn't anyone just like save a buck and like be honest about it?
Shoot here and say it's somewhere else.
Yeah, everyone shoots there and says it's New York or it's LA or it's Manhattan or it's
West
whatever.
Coast.
Chicago. Why not just shoot in Canada and say it's Canada? have the Degrassi kids walking around. Have Drake wheel by in a fucking chair. I swear, somewhere out there, someone saw Drake walking around and they were brought to tears because they didn't know that Jimmy could walk. They had no idea. They had no idea he's like a famous rapper,
It's a
and that someone is me.
He is?
So what's been going down at the Geek Den? What have I been missing?
Oh, holy shit.
Stuff.
We've got a lot going on here lately.
Yeah, man. Looks like you guys have been super busy.
Well, yeah, with the Halloween, man, you know how we are. We love horror. So we
Hell yeah.
pushing the shit out of our contest for the Terrifier comic there behind Kreger. And
Is it the logo contest?
yes,
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. Have you had any submissions yet?
we've had a few.
Yeah.
You.
Okay.
But it's autographed.
But
That's
up for
that is
grabs.
great cover. That is.
and anybody
beautiful
can enter this, Chris. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. They can
Oh,
get-
okay.
Anybody.
I'm gonna have to flex my logo skills on that a little bit.
It can be a mashup, it can be a meme, it can be whatever the fuck you
Yeah.
want it to be. You
Yep.
just send it to the Geek Den Messenger on Facebook.
Anything at all.
And then we're gonna create a poll on October the 15th. And the winner will be drawn on Halloween on our Halloween special.
God, you know what else is funny? The new Halloween releases on October 15th. On
Oh
Peacock.
shit.
Oh man,
On Eco?
we should talk about that a little bit because I am kind of like low key excited. I try and temper my expectations for all this stuff, right? I'm a
Yeah.
big time old school Halloween fan, but I don't know, that last one did not really blow me away. I'll put it that way.
It was
I didn't-
a lot more story based than anything. Like when
It
you
just
think
seemed
about
like
it,
a reach in a
Yeah.
lot of ways. Like you retcon all this stuff so you can say that like Laurie Strode's been training her whole life for some reason, even though he's not her brother. Like you retcon almost everything except for the original movie.
yeah,
So basically he never followed her to the hospital. Like none of that shit even happened in 2. So like she was attacked one night and like she devoted her life to it. Like, I don't know.
I think
40,
it's,
and then if she was obsessed, why did she not leave Haddonfield? Like that's another thing I just didn't.
I think what happened was like that's supposed to be after 2, and I guess you're supposed to take like all the others out of the equation, and this
Even
is what
2.
happened
You're
after
supposed to
2.
take 2 out as well.
Yeah, you could easily take 2 out as well. if
No,
you
you're
wanted
supposed
yeah.
to. Because in 2 they say they're brother and sister, and this one That is not the case.
Yeah, that's true.
Which always pisses me off. It's like, God damn it. You didn't make a Star Wars movie now and be like, oh, by the way, Darth Vader, he's him and Luke Skywalker. Nah, not related at all. We were just fucking with you guys. Gotcha.
I am kind of glad
Fuck
they're
that
killing off
shit.
the series. I mean, like, a million Halloween movies is enough. Like, kill it off. You know, make it go out with a bang, though. Because, like, I'm so devoted to the Halloween series. Like,
I love Halloween, but here's what happened, and we all know it. They did H2O, and H2O was supposed to be the end, but they all got greedy and fucked up and screwed around and got, like, John Carpenter out of that project. That was supposed to be, like, his return to the series.
yeah.
And then they wouldn't fucking pay him the money that he deserved, so they went with the guy who did Halloween 2, I think it was. Rick Rosenthal, I want to say.
Yeah. I think so.
And, you know, at the end when she chops Michael's head off, you think, okay, the series is over.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair enough. But then, obviously, they're like, well, they had the Friday the 13th Part 4 effect. It was Friday the 13th, the final chapter, and it made like 3 times as much money as any other Friday the 13th. And they're like, wait a minute. Maybe that chapter wasn't so final after all.
Yeah. Now we're
So-
gonna get cousins and nieces and nephews and uncles involved.
Well, we're gonna
And then,
fuck
like,
the story right up.
I also can't help but feel like there was some studio executives like reading like focus group data, some like white studio executives. They're like, hey, wait a minute. Turns out that like other people like these movies too. Let's put Busta Rhymes in this one. Like, let's put Busta Rhymes in the next one. Well, I fucking love more than life itself. Like, I absolutely love Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
And like I love the idea of him in a Halloween movie, but the way it was executed was, I mean, let's just face it, that's the finest filmmaking there is. Like Busta Rhymes, like kung fu fighting Michael Myers is like clearly like the benchmark of quality for the series, a touchstone, if you will. But I don't know. So then, yeah, it went on forever and ever. They rebooted it. They unrebooted it. They retconned it. They re-retconned it. They retconned more of it. Like,
And Rob Zombie stepped in.
to me, the ultimate Halloween movie, first of all, it's got to have Danielle Harris and Jamie Lee Curtis.
Yes.
And then on top of that, it's got to have Donald Pleasance, which you're never going to have. So
Yeah.
it's just like, you know, to me, he was the series in a way that like most people, you know, except for hardcore horror fans, don't really acknowledge.
Yeah.
You know, he's the through line for so much of it. 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, like he's
you know,
a
Jamie Lee Curtis would like
established
come and
member.
go as she pleases.
Yeah.
You know, Danielle Harris, like, she was always down for the series too, and that's why to me it's like,
the title alone. She said, anytime that title is involved, I'm happy to be involved.
yeah,
And
and like,
that's why she jumped on the Rob Zombie train.
yeah,
It was great. I love those movies.
yeah, and those are, you know, those aren't. I'll be honest, those aren't like my favorites. But I love that she's in them, and I love all the acting in them.
Yeah.
And like they're very well. They're like it's weird. They're like some of my favorite of Rob Zombie's films,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't like them as Halloween films. Like I always say that if you just called them something else,
Yeah,
know,
because he really made that story elaborate, and it would have gone awesome if you just would have like chose to put him in another suit. You know what I mean? Like if you would have made it your own.
yeah,
but, like,
he didn't have to be. That didn't have to be Michael Myers or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
It would have been a totally new character.
Yeah. And then like probably would have fucking crushed.
Oh my god, yeah.
Yeah.
But long story short, I thought he did a great job with the story.
Oh yeah, I am a big
Yeah.
fan of the movies. I'm not gonna lie. Like I know nobody else is, and it's like, you know, horror heresy to say that, but I enjoy them. I enjoy the story to them, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is a really good story, especially in the first one,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh yeah, the first one's amazing, I think.
But you know, we got to this like 90210 thing where it's like the spin cycle cycle, or the Degrassi, where it's like the reboot of the reboot of the reboot, and it's like
Saved by the Bell or
yeah, like the third generation or whatever, it's like
I haven't watched
school
it.
anymore. Fuck that school.
Yeah.
I think to shut that school down.
No rats. Asbestos.
They need to, what they need to do? Honestly, they should just they should do Degrassi 30 something. Right? like Degrassi, or they're way older than that now. So they have to do like Degrassi, like nursing home.
God, I can call it the 30s.
Well, they haven't had any
Like
state
DA
funerals
30.
yet,
No,
so
I
they'll
got
still-
it. Okay, because retirement is like too old, but like one of those over 55 communities, and guess what fucking street it's on? Degrassi Street. Guess who's there? Snake and Spinner, and no, Spinner's Joey Jeremiah. The old school cast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Spike, thank you. That's the one I'm forgetting.
Yeah.
Like Snake and Spinner. No, Spike. Yeah. Oh, classics. Anyways, I totally derailed all this.
Oh, no.
We're talking about our movies. And I'm
This
like,
is
let's talk about Halloween and
this is
Degrassi
the
some
intro.
more.
everyone needs
Sorry.
Degrassi in your heart.
It's all good.
But we are here, of course, to talk about the movies we like to watch around Halloween. And I'm just here to talk about everything. I've been at every rabbit hole.
No, it's okay. That's why we love you being on. You know how to riff. It helps out a lot. But no, we all decided to pick a movie that represents Halloween in a way. Doesn't have to be horror. It can be, you can watch it and you I do that with seasonal movies. I watch them whenever the fuck I want to because I'm an adult.
Yeah.
But Halloween, like the horror genre for me, just takes over, and like that's really all I want to fucking watch. Whether it's like just dark sci-fi shit or your typical blood and guts, werewolf horror. Which I love werewolves, I love vampires, I love zombies, but I just love a good slasher movie. I love shit that could possibly happen in real life for me. So
Yeah.
I'm going to kick us off, and The Hills Have Eyes, the original, the Wes Craven classic from the 70s. Your family's on vacation for an anniversary. You're driving through the desert. Old mines as far as the eye can fucking see. You stop at a gas station in the middle of bumfuck Arizona or wherever the hell they were. The old guy gives them directions and says, hey, don't go that way. You want to go back to the fucking highway. Don't go that way. You want to go back.
That's
They
what
should
it
have
is.
listened. They should have listened because what's in the fucking mountains? What's in
Always listen.
the crazy old guy says, don't go that way. Don't fucking go that way. You're going to fucking die.
Every crazy old guy in a horror movie is just, they try and fail to save thousands of lives, but
Yeah.
That's
Especially in
another
Friday
story.
the 13th, man. That guy really tried.
Crazy Ralph, I love him.
Crazy Ralph. Yep.
On his fucking bicycle and two and shit. Like, I need to fucking mash that up with Pee-wee in the bike race. I don't know how I never thought of that, but I need him rolling up on Pee-wee being like, it's got a death curse. Oh my god. But for me, Hills Have Eyes, 2 words, Michael Berryman.
Yes, I was just.
I
about to
mean,
say.
he's Bela Lugosi, he's Boris Karloff, he's Robert Englund, and just most people don't fucking know it.
And
But
he just
Michael
looks like
fucking
that.
Berryman. Oh
He
my
just
god.
looks like that.
Yeah.
Like,
He's just
he has
perfect.
some kind of disorder, but he's still one of the fucking greatest horror icons.
And a gentleman, true,
Yeah, yeah.
nice
one of
guy,
the
but
nicest
loved
guys
by
in-
all his fans, a charmer at the conventions and stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Doesn't get any cooler than Michael fucking Berryman.
No, especially in that role because you're just like, he's like a child.
And
He just
I
has
get
those
these
childlike
confused. Is it Hills Have Eyes that was Cunningham and Craven?
Yeah.
powers.
Or was it just Craven?
It was-
Or was that Last House on the Left?
I am not sure, to be completely honest with you.
Yeah, me neither.
Google it.
Yeah.
All right, why you
hold that
Google that
thought.
though? Since we were talking about Terrifier earlier, you haven't seen it. We met up there, but proudest moment of my life.
Yes. Yeah, that's so awesome. You finally met him.
I will show that off. I'll be showing that to like my grandkids. Like, look at this. You think it's scary now?
I think it was just Wes Craven, from what I'm seeing. Produced by Peter Locke.
Okay, then it was probably Last House on the Left. I always
Yeah.
get them confused in terms of which one. I think that's the one that was Carpenter and Craven. Yep, Cunningham and Craven. Excuse me, not Carpenter. Yeah, my bad. Okay, sorry.
No.
Too many rabbit holes, and I have to turn over. All, I have to go down every one. But yeah, now I always liked the original more than the remake. I wasn't that big on the remake. But
I enjoyed the remake because
Yeah.
it told the story, but it was in a different way. Like, they kind of updated it to be radioactive mutants rather than inbred mountain people. But but I do enjoy the original better just because it's more gritty. I feel it's not as polished.
Yeah.
yeah.
I like that about just about any old horror movie is that grit. Like it ages so well because there's so few references in it, and it's just grainy and it feels real.
Yeah.
Or not possible. Like a maybe. Maybe
a
this.
lot of people. A lot of people are starting to do that though. They're starting to like bring the old film back in their edits and everything like that. Like if you watch WNUF Halloween special, it's like totally found footage. It's like a newscast kind of. The way they make it, it's like it has original commercials that they made, like you would see in like the 80s or 90s, and like it's a newscast, and then like the special reporter goes in. It's amazingly bad, but it is so 80s. Like the editing they did is just, it's terrible. It's real grit. I love it.
So, but yeah, I feel you that old school, like the old film grain, and like a lot of that stuff, the sound of the low budget synthesizers, and like those like Moogs and Mellotrons and those patches and stuff. They have a very specific type of, I don't know, it's weird, like, what then they consider to be digital and now we would consider to be analog. It's kind of funny.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
That sort of late 70s, I don't know. I guess in the case of Must Have Eyes, wasn't really late 70s, but
Yeah,
early
it's about
70s, early
77.
mid 70s.
About 77.
Oh, it's 77? Okay. Yeah, that sounds about right.
I just looked at the fucking thing in 77. But but yeah, like I came across that movie when I was like 16, 17. Found it at Walmart, believe it or not. And I was just like, I've heard things about this movie, so fuck it. Bought it.
I'm surprised they had that at Walmart. Wow.
Yeah, it was in the $5 bin. I
Okay.
was like,
I
okay.
gotta give a shout out to Walmart. You never know what you're gonna find in those $5
No.
bins and shit.
Walmart is just funny because they're like, we won't sell music with swears on it, but we'll sell.
They do now.
Yeah, like
They do
inbred
now.
zombie cannibal rape movie.
It's gotta be in like a $1 bin.
Like eat babies.
Something in 50 cents.
And we'll sell guns to the kids who shot up Columbine and
Oh.
bullets. Like, even after all that shit.
Buy this dice play comedy album and get 2 pistols.
It's just funny. Like we sell all this shit that kills people, but no music with swears.
But no.
Shit.
I watched it and I was like, okay. I was like, I can't really appreciate this quite yet, but I do enjoy what's happening. But now, like, I've watched it so many fucking times. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. And it attached me to Wes Craven more than like Nightmare on Elm Street did, because it introduced me to a lot more of his movies. Because for a long time, it was just Nightmare on Elm Street. But
Of course.
when I was a kid, another Wes Craven movie actually scarred me for life and still gives me trouble, which is The People Under the Stairs, which was the movie I wanted to talk about. But I was
Oh,
like,
man.
you know what? The Hills Have Eyes is what opened that door, because I rewatched People Under the Stairs as an adult after that, and was like,
Yeah.
it still
People Under
fucks
the-
with me, but it's a great movie.
People Under the Stairs is actually one of my favorite.
I
of all
love
Wes
that.
Craven's movies. I was fortunate enough to do a panel with that cast.
Mhm.
We're talking about it now. You have no choice. I'm joking.
Good.
I'm joking. No, they're all super cool, and there's a lot of great
Again.
stories there. We'll definitely talk about that in the future on the Geek Den, though, because
I love that movie. Like,
Great
I can appreciate it
stories.
much more as an adult because of the fact that it fucked me up as a kid. I still have trouble with the dimly lit basement. I've said it before on this show, like so many times. But I
Yeah.
will say it again. Like, it's still fucked with.
you know that one
don't know
never
about
really scared me that much. I mean, it was like an edge of your seat movie. It was like a white knuckle
Yeah.
movie, but it wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm gonna like dream of fucking Everett McGill with this fucking leather zipper mask. Like, know.
Again.
But I'm also night blind, so like my
Oh,
eyes
okay.
just fuck with me if there's no light or if there's little light. It
Okay.
creates-
yeah, I know what
Yeah.
you mean. Yeah.
I don't wanna see
Nah, believe me, I've seen enough movies to make me like scared of dimly lit basements. I'm still running the.
Oh yeah, no,
Like that.
I'm definitely, I'm a fucking
When you-
grown ass man. I'm still
when
scared
you
of
when
dimly
you
lit
run
basements.
down the hallway and put the light on.
Oh yeah.
You don't want to live in the room.
You can't be too careful in the dark. I've seen many movies.
That's when you kick the coffee table with your baby toes, man.
Yeah.
It hurts.
Fucking A.
Pisses you off in 15 languages.
And night vision is actually like excellent. That's why it's going so well at the haunt, because you know I see people before they see me. So even in like a dark basement, I can still make things out, and I'm like, oh fuck, what am I doing down here? I'm getting my ass back upstairs.
Like Kevin McAllister.
Which brings me to my Halloween movie, Night Eyes. No, I'm just kidding. Oh my god, I'm just glad that you guys actually got that joke and remember the Night Eyes film series. I don't think you could be a young man who lived through the 90s. If you had access to cable, you had to know what those were. Fucking Shannon Tweed. Oh man.
Man, this is Gene Simmons.
Yeah. That lucky bastard.
Right? Him?
So who's up? Who else we got? What are the other Halloween film picks?
Why don't we take a quick break and I'll get to mine.
Oh, should we get okay? Right on.
Why
Do
not?
that real quick.
I may be stranded, but at least I got my Fruity Pebbles.
Fruity!
A ghost!
Only a Fruity Pebbles can set my spirit free!
My Fruity Pebbles? Okay.
Frighteningly fruity flavors! Thanks, Fred.
Bonnie!
Boo. Bon appetit!
Post Fruity Pebbles cereal, part of this complete breakfast.
Tonight, I, Dr. Frankenstuff, reveal my greatest invention.
Serve, Gregor!
A hot dog?
Take a bite.
Wow, there's real chili inside. How'd you do that?
I tunneled deep into juicy Hormel Franks and stuffed them so with rich Hormel chili.
Absolutely amazing.
Positively delicious.
What do you call them, Master?
What else? But Frankenstuff.
Frankenstuff from Hormel.
All right, we're back. Krager, what you got for us?
Well, I came with an actual, like, you know, for me, horror is 365 days a year. Like, between that and, like, old cartoons, that pretty much sums up my entertainment. But I wanted to touch on a Halloween special not too many people know about. It was, like, on Fox Family when that first, like, the 3 or 4 name channel started. It was Fox Family. And they had this movie on When Good Ghouls Go Bad. And Christopher Lloyd was, like, one of the starring members in it. Like, he was he was a big deal in that movie, and like he plays this kid's grandpa, and you know he dies somehow and comes back as a zombie. And it's like this voodoo curse where like all these zombies come back to life, but they don't like they don't hurt anybody or anything. They're just like silly and goofy, and at the end there's like this big ball where they all dance and everything, and like it's such a happy ending because the guy who they were all afraid of turns out to be like this nice old ghost who was just misunderstood, and you know, all the zombies like ballroom dance up into the sky and everything. And I must have watched it 100 times with my mom because like that was just our thing. When holiday episodes came on, we sat and watched everything, especially during Halloween. And they used to have that like scariest places on earth show too.
Oh yeah.
We were all about it.
I love everything about what you just said. That sounds to me like it's more than an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode, but less than like a theatrical movie, which is why it's a made-for-TV movie. I remember when this came out, and I'm such a big fucking Christopher Lloyd fan that even though I was like too old, I wanted to see it, and I probably would have watched it, but I just like never crossed my path, you know.
Yeah.
Like I never saw it on DVD at the $5 bin or anything, like, you know, any of these places I would have scooped it up or something.
Yeah, well, it is on YouTube.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I have to give this a watch now. Christopher Lloyd, I mean, just another one of those guys that just you're never gonna appreciate.
You can never do wrong.
Yeah.
Taxi.
It's interesting, you know, it's the kind of most depressing thing to think about, but like, you know, you see this stuff like with Norm Macdonald now, you know, everyone's like worshiping him and it's great. But like I've been worshiping the man for fucking all this time. I didn't need, you know, this to happen for you know, any of that. But, you know, Norm is just the fucking greatest. Now I'm doing it, you know. He's so goddamn good.
He was amazing. He was very underrated.
But it's like I just wish that we didn't wait till people are dead to like heap this praise upon them.
Yeah.
That's the bummer. But the thing is, I was like, the day I found out about it, I had just watched the roast of Bob Saget again. And Norm,
that was a good one.
Norm was so fucking great in that.
His was aberrant. It was so funny.
That's what I'm saying. That's what made him so great, because he was just
your hat is not good looking.
The fucking I feel like the Comedy Central roasts have gone off the rails a little bit.
Yeah.
Like I didn't watch the Bieber one because I'm like, I don't give a shit about Justin
that one
Bieber.
was actually pretty fun.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was, but like it used to be about like classic, legendary people with multi-decade careers. Now it's just like, all right, who's famous, power, name, big ratings? How do we do it? You know? And,
it's not even the roasts anymore that are incredible. Like you bring up the Bob Saget one. There's a lot of like not public stories around that one that are pretty intense.
Yeah.
And I imagine because it's comedy, right? Like anything Greg Giraldo did was a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
There's a story where 3 hours before a roast that Giraldo was doing with Artie, he got Artie to get him drugs. Then he goes on stage on the roast and then just rips Artie apart. Just shreds him. Like everything. His mom, he's fat, whatever. And then he's looking at him, he's like, really, dude? After what I did, he's like, fuck you. That's it.
Wow.
And that's one of the horror stories behind the scenes at the roast.
It's just the fastest one, because there's lots of long ones that
I know.
You go down those rabbit holes and
yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure.
To me, the last good one
filming
was
the roast. They all turn around and they're like, "You son of a bitch."
A lot of
you know, I liked the Charlie Sheen one. I liked the Rob Lowe one.
Rob Lowe was brilliant because Ann Coulter was on there. And that was
they ripped her to fucking shreds. It's fucking glorious.
Oh yeah. Oh man.
She's just sitting there with that fucking zombie smile that she has.
Well,
yo,
everyone offered to write her jokes and she wouldn't let him, and then she went up and just bombed.
Yeah,
it was terrible.
The I think the girl from the Marvel stuff, Agent whatever, is playing Ann Coulter in the American Crime Story show.
Nice.
And she's killing it. Whoever it is, if it's not her, I may be wrong, but my roommate says it is, and I trust him. He's obsessed with Marvel.
I dig it.
But shout out to that show, because American Crime Story Impeachment is amazing. Incredible show.
Is that streaming anywhere?
Yes, it's next day on Hulu because it's FX. So you can watch every episode, the day after it airs or whatever.
Yeah.
And later.
Right on.
Back to Christopher Lloyd.
Yeah, back to Christopher Lloyd, exactly. Sorry.
Sorry, we totally fucking derailed that.
That's my bad.
No, it's all good. We had to pay
13 degrees of Christopher Lloyd.
There's a man that deserves a fucking roast, right?
Yes.
I mean, shit.
Oh my god. Can you imagine Michael J. Fox at that thing?
Oh my god, could you imagine all the great Parkinson's jokes you'd hear?
Yes.
Fucking amazing. And he would take it like a fucking champ. He would laugh his ass off and have a great time.
So uncomfortable.
He's so good.
I love people that can make fun of themselves. And Michael J. Fox is one of those people, and Christopher Lloyd for sure.
Oh yeah.
All the time. But like I have yet to see a movie where he wasn't great in it. Like
Christopher
anything Christopher Lloyd.
Oh yeah.
Any role he has, he's just amazing. Even if the movie's pure trash.
Same with Michael J. Fox though.
Yeah, absolutely. Michael J. Fox kills every role he gets. And I don't feel they get enough credit.
I love Doc Hollywood.
When those movies, well, especially Back to the Future, and then afterwards with Michael J. Fox's subsequent ones, they were huge. Like they exploded.
People forget Secret of My Success was like the second, I think, or third highest grossing movie of that year. Like it outgrossed Lethal Weapon that year. Like that is fucking insane to me.
It's crazy to think.
And I love that movie, but I had no idea that movie outgrossed Lethal Weapon until like a couple years ago.
Yes.
I found that out. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking incredible. And I love Lethal Weapon too. But getting back to Christopher Lloyd again, there's so many obscure, like I almost like the more obscure stuff. Like he's great in movies like The Page Master or like $20 or Interstate 60, some of the lesser known Lloyd fare.
In Taxi and Who's Nest.
Yeah. My roommate had this point recently that he's like, I think Taxi is the best cast of any TV show ever. And I'm like, that's a fair thing to say.
You can't even argue with it.
Yeah. You got fucking Danny DeVito, Tony Danza, Mary Lou Henner, Andy Kaufman, Judd Hirsch, Carol Kane. Like it's insane.
Fucking everybody.
Kaneki from fucking Grease. What's his name? Jeff Conway. Like Jesus Christ. Did I even say Christopher Lloyd yet? I don't think I did.
Didn't. I did, but you did.
Okay, yeah, Christopher Lloyd. Like how many fucking household names do you have on one TV show? That's
Yeah.
That's an ensemble cast if there ever was one.
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely. Well, and it was a great show too. Like that's one that aged well.
It's funny, Christopher Lloyd never went back to TV after that.
No,
like it felt like a thing that like a lot of big actors did in the 90s because that's like there was big money for them there, steady, easy money.
Yeah.
And he like never did that. Literally everyone else from Back to the Future did,
Yeah.
Thompson had Caroline in the City, which I loved, and Michael J. Fox had Spin City, which was great.
And the short-lived Michael J. Fox show, which I think was brilliant.
I did not like that show.
I liked the humor in it.
I liked him in it.
Yeah.
His wife was okay. I didn't like the casting of his kids very much. And, a show like that, you probably have to binge,
Yeah.
That's exactly what I did with it.
Yeah.
Like I watched it all at one time and I thought it was, it's good if you watch it that way, but yeah, if you're doing the weekly series release of it, it's not as good as if you were to just watch the whole thing. If you can find
that's
it.
That's what I was doing because that's the only way you could do it back then when it was coming out.
Yeah.
But I would be curious. I would rewatch it. I would buy it and binge it, just see if it, because I don't think they even finished. I don't think they aired the last bunch of episodes.
Yeah, I don't think they did either because just the ratings weren't very good.
Yeah.
That's when everything started going digital, though. Like, everything was on Netflix.
Yeah, that was kind of like at the beginning of that, for sure.
Everybody's dropping cable service and nobody's really watching. So, but yeah, Christopher Lloyd, probably one of the greatest actors of all time, I'd say.
I could have led with this, but I went to like 2 or 3 years ago. I went to a convention in Calgary because I was there for work, and I was just there by myself. And what I do when I'm by myself is I'm not there to see anybody, even if it would have to be Stan Lee for me to go intentionally. Otherwise, I'm just there to walk around. But what I'll do is I'll walk down the lines of the booths and I'll see who has no crowd. And if I have any cash left, I'll go and get something from them, because the guests are crazy. And for me, it's more about the novelty than any attachment to them. Like, I went and met Lance Bass, then some nobody from Walking Dead, then some nobody from Gotham. And they're really fun. And I shouldn't have said nobody. What a horrible way to describe somebody, but they weren't top or even second billing on any of these shows. And I should have said it that way. But I went down the last row, and there was Christopher Lloyd. And he had a bunch of 8x11s, a lot of Back to the Future, and there was another news show that he had in there. But when I went up, the 8x11 that I saw was him from Taxi. And he signed it. He said, "You're the only person this weekend that asked me for that one." Give him a fist bump. He's a really big dude. That surprised me.
Yeah.
Like, really big. Like,
yeah, he's like 6'6" or something.
Yeah.
Which is amazing because Michael J. Fox is like not that tall.
No.
And Christopher Lloyd had to be hunched over for 3 movies to keep them in frame together.
It was just broad. Like, when I went up there, it was like meeting. I went at a different con. I met Carl Weathers, and they don't look the same. Like, when I went and met them both, they're like this to me. Like, they're both way thicker than me.
I can imagine Carl Weathers is just a beast.
Yeah,
it was terrible. I knew him from the CFL when I was a kid. He was playing football here.
All right.
And I told him that. He was really impressed because it was like a season.
So you probably saw a semi-tough.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's early Carl Weathers football. It's pre-Rocky. It's definitely pre-Rocky too, at the very least.
But I was just a kid when he played up here. Like, I
would love to meet Carl Weathers. He's one of the last of like my heroes that like I'm just dying to meet.
Dylan,
because to me,
son of a bitch.
Well, what I got was it's a replica of one of the fight posters of him fighting Rocky Balboa.
Oh, nice.
Like a big one, and he signed it.
That's awesome.
Now I just have to meet Sylvester Stallone.
To me, it just doesn't get any cooler than like Apollo Creed. Like, even like Rocky IV, like on his way into his death, he's just like dancing with James Brown. Like, he's just the way he talks, the way he like the way he like phrases his words. I know it's all written by Stallone, but the life is breathed into it by Carl Weathers. And you can't tell me that like some of that isn't him putting his own flavor on it, because I just feel like it really has to be.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. Like that shit too. Action Jackson, fucking Predator. He's just a legend.
He was great in The Mandalorian too.
Oh,
I have not watched that much of it, but what I did see of him, of course, it was great. I gotta like kind of take a deeper dive on that show.
You do that.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
You can take it as standalone if your problem is continuity and stuff like that. Just take
it.
Yeah, just take it as a Star Wars.
So.
Oh man. What do you think about taking another break, boys?
For sure.
Well timed.
Oh, nice.
You want to hear a good scary story? I tell good ones. Where's the phone now? Hello? I got a good one for you.
A $2 call. Ask your parents and call now. 976-4200. Exciting and scary stories from the Fright Line. 976-4200. Call if you dare. 976-4200.
Let's get ready for the Halloween party. Wow, it's gonna be spooky and fun. Let's shake up our Viewmaster light sticks and shine in the dark. Let's light up the jack-o'-lantern. And let's light up our monster faces.
A Viewmaster Light Up Light Stick comes with every jack-o'-lantern or monster head, each sold separately. Or you can buy light sticks alone. Light Up Monster Heads, Light Up Inflatable Jack-o'-lantern, and the light stick itself, each sold separately.
And we're back. Matt, what's your movie?
Well, I'm gonna be totally honest. I'm not a Halloween guy. It's not my holiday.
Well, I guess I'll go.
Now, that's not a judgment thing. I know everyone loves it. So I don't get right into it. I don't have a ritual. I don't do haunted houses. They scare the shit out of me.
This is the speech from Jerry Maguire. Like, I don't cry at movies. I don't celebrate Christmas 6 months early, and I don't fucking blow.
See, now we're getting into I like the holidays after Halloween. That's my wheelhouse. But the one thing is my wife is really into movies just like The Lost Boys, and I watched it as a kid, but I've watched it probably 20 to 30 times since I've been married, and I love it. I never really had a problem with it. It just wasn't something I would watch. But with my wife, she's into all of that kind of stuff, and so I get to see it all the time. And who doesn't like young Kiefer Sutherland and young Corey and Corey? I mean, that's before everything that happened to everybody. So
now it's Winters.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jason fucking Patrick. You know, man doesn't get enough love.
Another case, right?
I literally used to wear the dangly dagger earring because of that, and I had the long kind of wavy hair. So I used to go to parties and I would wear a black leather jacket all the time. You know, I thought I was young hot stuff or whatever, and I would go to parties and people would be like, "Michael, one of us,
maggots.
Join us, Michael."
It's not rice you're eating, Michael.
You're eating maggots, Michael.
Who wants to know? Mikey wants to know. It's funny, when I was in high school and I first started playing in bands, every single band that I started, I tried to get the other people to name it Death by Stereo. I'm like, come on, let's go, Death by Stereo, Death by Stereo, Death by Stereo. That's a stupid name, that'll never be a real blah, blah, blah. And then
then along comes Death by Stereo.
God damn it.
Great band, by the way.
Yes, yeah, that's true. Well deserved. Maybe better. Maybe these things happen for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. They're a great band.
But Lost Boys, God, I'm one of those people that has been obsessed with this movie since I was 3 years old. In fact, maybe it probably is the first horror movie that I mass consumed, or that I consumed in mass quantities, I should say. Because it didn't really scare me. It did, but not enough to have nightmares or be scared after the movie was over or anything like that. It was very accessible in a way, and it was cool. It was just so goddamn fucking cool.
Well, the music, the actors, they nailed it with the casting. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, Billy Wirth, every single guy in that, in that crew, the fucking Guns N' Roses looking dude, you killed Marco. Fucking guy looks like Steven Adler.
And Marco, I believe, was played by Alex Winter.
Yeah, Marco was Alex Winter.
Yeah.
AKA Bill S. Preston Esquire.
That's right. Oh,
time travel didn't save him then.
Nope.
Such a great dude.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But I feel like you also, a funny story about this movie. I did a panel with one of my favorite actors, goes by the name of Craig Sheffer. If you don't know who he is, that's okay. He was on One Tree Hill, it's a big hit show. is one of the like older generation characters. He was the villain in Some Kind of Wonderful. You ever saw that growing up? John Hughes movie. He was in a bunch of movies. The Program, famous football movie with Christy Swanson in the 90s. Bunch of stuff. But at any rate, River Runs Through It, probably his most famous movie. Any rate, he was offered the role of Michael in The Lost Boys and turned it down because he read the script and he thought the script was a piece of shit because he didn't realize at the time that the director had such a vision for that movie. And he goes, and I wish I had done it because then Jason Patrick did it and he became more famous than me. And that's why he did Nightbreed years later, which was another movie you may know him from. But at any rate, so I feel like you have to give credit to Joel Schumacher. Coming off a DC cab in San Elmo's Fire.
Yeah.
Who would have known? You know?
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck would have known? But the man has an impeccable track record across everything except for his Batman movies.
Yeah.
Like, literally, everything else he did was great. After Lost Boys, I think, was Flatliners.
Oh, yeah.
He did The Client. He did the number 23 later. He did Falling Down. He did so many fucking great movies.
Yeah.
But those Batman ones were...
Yeah, I was going to say, you brought up Batman, so let's talk about that for a second. What? Why?
He was hired to do McDonald's Batman. That's literally, I mean, simplest way you can say
make it more toyetic.
Yeah. Make this McDonald's Batman. You know, don't worry about anything else. You make that happy, then we're all good here. And like Batman and Robin probably made tons of money because of that. You know? It's funny, it was the summer after 7th grade when I saw Batman and Robin, and like I liked it on like first viewing. It's like one of those like, yeah, like that was cool. Lucius Soderstone's awesome. Like
I was 9 years old.
Hot.
I was 9 years old when that came out, so of course I'm a Schwarzenegger junkie. Schwarzenegger's in Batman and Robin. I'm gonna like it just because Schwarzenegger's in it.
Yeah.
So,
well, and it's a comic book movie. When there's a certain age where a lot of those small details just don't matter.
But to take it back full circle, if Tim Burton was around at that point, I feel like he would have gone for because I feel like my sensibilities, he just made movies that were so, I don't know. I just feel like Michael Keaton is Batman, Jack Nicholson is Joker, like Danny DeVito's Penguin, Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. Those were all like, I'm in lock and step with those. So I feel like, to bring it back around, Christopher Lloyd should have been Mr. Freeze. It's too obvious. He would have been absolute perfection.
Oh my God.
It's a little bit of Doc Brown. It's a little bit of Doom guy from fucking Roger Rabbit.
Yeah.
And you're there.
He can do crazy. He's done crazy enough times.
I mean, he doesn't really have to stretch to pull off crazy either.
No, and he would grate those eyes with the goggles and shit. Like, who would make that better than fucking Chris Lloyd? Nobody.
For real, man.
Well, if any movie has a mad scientist character in it that just casts itself, that's take my money, right?
Yeah,
it's him all the way.
Oh yeah, exactly, right? It's like just too fucking perfect. It's like Martin Short is the Mad Hatter. Would have been so perfect.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Oh wow. Damn. Dropping science, Chris Styles.
Yeah. Gary Oldman could have been a great Scarecrow too back in the day. And I, even though I wanted to see Billy D. Williams as Two-Face, in my money, Dennis Hopper would have been the most perfect fucking Two-Face ever.
Fuck yeah. Damn.
I could totally see him, the crazy Dennis Hopper in a Batman movie. That'd be so delicious.
Like Blue Velvet Dennis Hopper.
Yes! Like fucking River's Edge Dennis Hopper. You know what I mean? Oh,
fuck yeah.
I don't know if it gets better than that, but anyway, back to Lost Boys, of course. Yeah. I feel like you got to throw love to Jamie Gertz, of course. Because everyone was in love with Jamie Gertz back in the day. Crossroads, of course, and Less Than Zero, one of my favorite Christmas movies, actually. Yeah, I don't like happy Christmas movies. I like dark ones.
Yeah.
Batman Returns is another one.
Yeah.
But
I love Batman Returns. Oh my god.
Great. And Diane Wiest also
yes
has a lot of heavy lifting to do in Lost Boys. Like, she has to do all the expository bullshit, like your father's not around, here we are, we're moving in here, these are the rules, blah 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 blah, who spilled milk on the thankless role, but she does it very, very well.
Sure does.
It makes it memorable. And then the guy, what's his, Ed Herman or whatever, who plays Max.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's right.
I think his name's Ed Herman.
Don't invite a vampire into your home, son.
It renders you powerless. So good. It's funny, the closest vampire movie of recent years at that point in time was Fright Night, which was, one of those movies that feels a little bit more 1984 than it felt 1985, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah, like Weird Science, Back to the Future, these movies feel like 1985.
Yeah.
That movie feels a little bit more like, Karate Kid, like 84 Ghostbusters, a little bit more, it doesn't have that like super 80s coolness. It played more into like the Hammer horror vibes, which is great. Another one, it's funny, over the years, Fright Night kind of creeps up on Lost Boys, and people are now like, it's sort of a coin flip, which their favorite 80s vampire movie is. But I look at it as almost like they're always going to be intertwined for that reason, but it's like the Bill and Ted, like Excellent Adventure, Bogus Journey. They're both so different.
Yeah.
You can just love both and appreciate that they didn't give you the same thing twice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love both the first two Bill and Ted movies equally. I haven't seen the new one, so I can't judge
I like
it yet.
the new one.
I like the new one.
I loved it.
All right. I got 3 people saying it's okay. So I'm
here's the thing. You just don't expect to have your mind blown. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
Of course not.
It's just a good time. It really is.
Right. Gives you that warm, fuzzy, nostalgic feeling that we all know and love.
It's
funny
like us
too.
That hype it like that.
Yeah, it is funny.
But I liked it.
I don't listen to hype anyway. It ruins it for me.
I've been caught up in it before. It is what it is.
And they're both still great as those characters. I mean, they could play those characters forever. It's just their timeless, ageless type of roles. It's sort of like Paul Rubens being Pee-wee. It's like riding a bike. And to bring it back around, that's what Michael Keaton said about playing Batman again, which has got me very excited to see. I mean,
come on, I've waited my whole fucking life for this.
Like, if you would have told me in 1989 that in 2021, 37-year-old you is going to be just as amped to be getting Terry Silver and Michael Keaton Batman back in your life, I would have been like, no fucking way. Like, you are a lying sack of shit. Or I just would have been like jumping up and down with excitement that, like, wow, what a great life I have to look forward to, not knowing everything that would happen in between films.
It really is the best Batman, hands down.
Yeah.
I mean, I love Ben Affleck as well, but he's the best since Keaton, in my opinion, and that is by far, a wide chasm between him and the next one, which would be Christian Bale, I guess, would be next best.
I like that.
And the fact we're getting them both, those are my 2 favorite Batman of all time.
I have yet to see Batfleck.
You haven't seen any Batfleck movies, huh?
It's not bad, man.
I cannot.
Honestly, he's the best thing about any of those movies.
He's really good. I couldn't believe it.
I've recently started watching through all the DC movies, so I'm getting
there.
But
I know build you up for it. You're not going to be disappointed in it. You're going to be like, how could this be? He's garbage, but
that's what I'm saying, man. Me and Ben Affleck, I don't like him.
when he first got announced, because I'm a nerd this way, I bitched about it on Facebook non-stop. Then I finally let it go after like 3 weeks ago. And when he came out, I actually ate my foot because I watched Batman vs. Superman, and it was great. It was so good. I don't like Ben Affleck. He fucked up Daredevil for me, and actually I like that movie too. But I just didn't like him. And thing is he was already running from behind for me, and I was just like you, man. I did not like it. I was mad.
Fucking O'Banion is Batman? No, come on.
They got the, as I always say, they got the hero casting so perfect in the DC world, but they fucked up with the villains so majorly. They got one of them good, Michael Shannon. He's awesome as General Zod. It was inspired choice, original performance, a fresh, feeling thing, not a carbon copy of some other villain, reasonable plot. But then they made this movie where nobody, honestly, the way I feel about Batman v Superman, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing in that movie. No one has super clear motivation. There's a lot of characters just sort of existing, which I don't know, didn't really work for me in that sense. I would prefer a more driven movie for Superman, a more driven movie for Batman, and I would have preferred anyone else on fucking Earth play Lex Luthor. No disrespect, because I like Jesse Eisenberg as an actor. I think he's great. But I think it was written wrong. I think it was everything about the character was conceived wrong.
Yeah, when they
unfairly
announced him,
miscast.
When he was announced as Lex Luthor, I immediately go, "What?
Yeah.
Why? Why him?"
Yeah. I don't understand. Do these people not know that Billy Zane exists? It's so goddamn perfect. It's like Jack Nicholson being the Joker. Billy Zane as Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
Is just do yourself a fucking favor, DC. Cast that man and thank me later, because you will. You fucking will. That guy is
Lex Luthor of all time, actually. Well, it's tied between Gene Hackman as Lex Luthor and what the hell was that guy's name? Michael Rosenbaum from Smallville.
Yeah.
He was really good.
Oh my God, he was amazing. He's brilliant. And that's what you need. You need the intelligence of Lex Luthor, Yeah.
And it's not just a violent evil either. It's a simmering evil. And he just, to me, anyway, unpopular opinion, I suppose, he just nailed it.
Lex Luthor has to be butter smooth, smooth in that politician way. I want to see Lex Luthor that could become president, but could also put on the mech suit and beat the shit out of Superman.
Yeah. Well, he has to be both.
Yeah, and Billy fucking Zane could do both. God damn it. He's been the Phantom. He can handle the physical side. He looks fucking great with a shaved head, and he's willing to do it.
He does.
No mystery there. Yeah. And the man is. I just did a panel with him a couple weeks ago. Probably the most intelligent answers I've ever gotten to simple questions hey, remember anything from this project? And he would just give this amazing little 90-second speech on each movie that was so thoughtful and so articulate and so poignant and relevant to today as well. It was amazing.
That's great.
God damn it. I'm never gonna get over that. He needs to be. And I have these weird things I want to see Eric Stoltz play the Joker at some point.
That'd be good.
I feel he would be really good.
Else a crack.
I feel these guys that I like now are getting to be a little older, but god damn.
Eric Stoltz is the
so
Joker.
Weird.
I could buy that.
I just feel he would do something different with it than what we've seen. Different than Joaquin, different than Heath, different than Jack, different than Mark Hamill.
I would
find a way.
They could do another Jack Nicholson Joker, though. I would love it to the moon and back.
I would too, but I think Jack's too old now. I don't think that can happen.
Yeah.
You're probably right, but I could still think about it.
Yeah, I could think about it too. I actually always wanted him and Catwoman in the same movie for some reason. Just because I thought, I think they did another movie together, Wolf, and I was always Joker and Catwoman here in this movie, and they're like getting down.
Why don't we cut to a quick break, fellas? We'll come back and wrap her up with Chris's movie.
Yeah.
Oh boy, there should be some wildlife around here.
Surprise!
The McDonald's Happy Meal guys.
Yep, a stick of McNuggets.
Regular soft drink.
And regular fries.
And they aren't lying.
What do you put in your McDonald's Halloween pumpkins?
Booty and McBoo, matey. Carrots and McGoblin. Golden McPumpkin, partner.
Now you can collect one of 3 different pumpkins with the purchase of every McDonald's Halloween Pumpkin Happy Meal. What you put in them is up to you.
Monster Face, the gruesome monster head you make and remake into the most monstrous monsters imaginable.
Now for the test. It works!
Monster Face comes with everything shown here.
And we're back. Chris, you're up. What do you got?
All right, so my movie, and I'm glad no one else picked it. It's near and dear to my heart. Also one of my youthful gateway drugs into the world of horror. Talking about 1987's Fred Decker masterpiece, The Monster Squad. Shout out to Andre Gower, the star of that film, who recently had some health issues and is, from all things I can tell by following him on social media, is on the mend and on the recovery and doing well. So props to him. You just can't talk about The Monster Squad without talking about everything in it, because it's a perfect film. Like, every little role. Scary German guy is great in this movie. There's a kid called Fat Kid in this film, which I think is one of the most beautiful things that has ever occurred in the history of man. It's done earnestly. You know, Fat Kid is a badge of honor. Like, there should be Fat Kid t-shirts, you know, for this kid. And that actor is actually sadly no longer with us. He died in 1997. But obviously was a very, very young age. And I can imagine, can you imagine like how fucking much people would be like heaping love on him right now?
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, that movie's it's taken on a resurgence here recently. I've seen a lot of people talking about it.
You know, there's amazing effects in it, like the creature from Black Lagoon or whatever looks incredible. Like that is one of my all-time favorite movie makeup jobs.
Yeah.
They use I think it's the Warner Brothers back lot in the end of the movie, and you can see the Growing Pains house in a lot of the shots. The Seaver family house. And it's a great back lot, and they use it very, very well. Great fucking third act. Tom Noonan kills it as Friendly Frankenstein's monster, who they affectionately call Frank. God, the movie's just fucking perfect. Even like the little sister, perfect casting. The mom, Mary Ellen Trainor, from A Million Things, who was married to Robert Zemeckis from Lethal Weapon and stuff. Shane Black worked on this movie, wrote Lethal Weapon. It's just everything about it.
Too.
What's that?
Shane Black wrote Predator as well.
Well, he wrote one of directed the newest one, I think.
Yeah, but he was in the Predator.
He was in the original Predator, yeah.
I want to say he had a hand in the production too. I could be wrong.
Well, that's a funny story. He was hired by his friend Joel Silver because he was like, "Look, I'm gonna put you in this movie so you can keep an eye on this director. I don't know, this McTiernan guy. I don't know if he knows what he's doing." And then Shane Black's like, "Dude, you're crazy. He's amazing. Like, this guy's incredible. He's a great director."
I just got my stories mixed up is all then. But.
No, I think he might have contributed at some point to the script as well, because sometimes they do that a lot. They'll like hire.
I have the special edition. I have the anniversary DVD. I'll have to rewatch the behind.
And it helps you get, a lot of the times these things are too, so people can get in the Screen Actors Guild and they can get a union like insurance and all this stuff.
Yeah.
But that's another story for another day. Duncan Ranger, I believe is how you pronounce his name, is Dracula, one of the great movie Draculas in my opinion. You know, when he like picks a little kid up by the chin and says, "Give me the amulet, you bitch." That is fucking great. Frankenstein saying bogus. I mean, I need to make that a tattoo. Like that version of Frankenstein saying bogus.
Yeah.
Killer. Just fucking love everything about this movie. It's Goonies meets Ghostbusters with a little bit of Gremlins thrown in there. It's such a fucking good time.
Yeah.
Movies just aren't fun like this anymore, you know?
Yeah, no,
they haven't made movies like that for a long time.
And it's not like it was too over the top. Like there was some room for a jump or two to be scared, right? Like not the whole movie. It certainly wasn't horror on purpose, but it was fun. It was a fun kind of like a roller coaster scared or one of those crazy rides.
Yeah, exactly.
Or a zombie house.
Yeah, totally. Oh, that's a perfect way of putting it. It's just so much fucking fun. Oh, the Wolfman, what's his name? Oh, fuck, he's one of my favorite actors, John Grease, who also played the Wolfman in Fright Night Part 2, played Dylan's drug dealer on 90210. My God, and that's one of my favorite Wolfman makeups ever as well.
I love good werewolf makeup.
Me too. Werewolves are like special to me. Like I know everyone loves vampires and shit like that, but I've always had a thing for werewolves. I just thought they were just so fucking cool.
The unlucky thing for both vampires and werewolves is Twilight. They fuck people.
Don't even get. We're not here to talk about that.
No, I had to say,
man, you won't like me when I'm angry.
Shirley Smurf will turn into the Shirley Incredible.
You don't need to.
We don't need that.
That's the unironic garbage movie that you just can't.
But Underworld was good. Underworld was great for both types of lore.
Yeah.
Yeah, that made up.
Vampires.
Werewolves
Besides Bela Lugosi, are just like, I never really got too much into them, but I love Dracula and Monster Squad.
Yeah, that's a great fucking Dracula.
Yeah.
Even like the vampire sluts that are like walking around town are like great, you know, like 80s hotties, you know?
Yeah.
I've got a question.
Okay.
Who was the first Dracula on screen that you guys were introduced to?
I think it was Bela Lugosi.
Yeah,
for me,
Bela Lugosi.
For me, it was Gary Oldman.
Oh wow.
Yeah. No, Craig.
My answer, honestly, the very first, because I wasn't exposed to any of that stuff, it was actually Monster Squad.
Oh wow.
Wow.
There's pictures of the family farm where all me and my cousins were into the movie. We had a clubhouse. That's what they called it, was the Monster Squad. It had a painting on the fucking side. For real. It was a big deal movie because we didn't get lots of movies. We were nowhere, right? Like this was when 2 channels, wham, I'm so old.
Yeah.
Turn the antenna to the left.
I think it really did inspire a lot of like kids into horror though, because like, you know, kids are a little more desensitized to everything, but they don't want to get scared like that anymore. Like parents are so protective over like little scares, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
you can't make the same movie anymore and expect
kids
it
need
to go
to
well.
be scared.
It had all the ingredients too. It had little something for everybody. You know, it had cool parent characters with like their own shit going on that like the adults that they could relate to. It had the badass kid Rudy that everyone wanted to be. It had Andre Gower as like the leader. Sean, you know, who like probably is a little closer to what most people were like, or just maybe the best friend of the fat kid, which is now we're all being really honest with who we are. You know? There's just a little, you know, there's like a point of accessibility for everybody in this movie, and that's why it hasn't. If anything, it's aged like wine. You know, I probably enjoy it now even more than I did when I was a kid, and I loved it as a kid.
Right.
One of the great Vestron videotapes. Oh my God. Remember that beautiful like white and red sticker? That like burgundy Vestron color.
Yeah.
It takes me back. It's like a warm blanket when I think about it.
Just making me.
Yeah, those were the fucking days, man. The great prelude too in this movie, or prologue or whatever. That opening scene with Van Helsing and shit is awesome, and it like really bookends the film nice with the one at the end. I just, my only problem with this is that we didn't get like 17 more of these movies, because I would have been here for all of it. Like all of it. Like
I gotta mention a movie because Monster Squad is a fantastic film, but every time I hear the title, for some reason, the movie that comes into my head first is Little Monsters.
Love it. It's honestly, Little Monsters is in my top 10 for sure. Like, ever since I was a little kid.
Such a great fucking movie.
That's Fred Savage and Howie, right?
Yeah.
That's Fred and
Ben Savage too.
Ben Savage is
Ben Savage,
It's funny, I just had we did an episode on Problem Child on VCR Redux last week.
I know, I missed it. I was like,
our guest was my friend Melanie, who produced the Vestron special edition Blu-ray of Little Monsters.
Oh shit.
No joke, yeah. She's got lots of cool stories to tell from that show. I've been trying to get her on the show for a long time. Really, really cool, really great stories.
I wish I could have made that. Damn,
man. Yeah, you gotta, well, you can always watch these things later.
I know.
But the live chat always makes it fun, right?
Yeah, it's good. There's something else, like to be able to like interact with you guys while you guys are bullshitting about it.
Oh,
it's
for sure.
So much fun just to throw in like a little quip here and there.
And Little Monsters is fun too. I feel like Little Monsters doesn't really have that point of accessibility for adults, though. It's more of a pure kid movie.
Yeah.
Whereas and I love those. Don't get me wrong.
It's one of those movies where if you're watching it as an adult, it's because you watched it as a kid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I just love that fucking movie. I always have.
It was good.
It's been there.
Fred Savage, he had like that trilogy of early movies,
Yeah.
Vice Versa.
Little
Monsters. Bride. Oh yeah, well, Princess Bride. I always don't count that one because he's only like the bookend parts, really.
That's fair.
The Wizard.
But yeah, the Wizard, of course, was the next one, and I fucking love the Wizard. Like
I love the Wizard
more than life itself. That movie's incredible.
Yeah.
And then of course the Wonder Years.
Of course, yeah. Who doesn't love the Wonder Years?
Man. Fucking great. Coming of age show, that one.
It's funny. I think about that show, and like I was talking about this the other day. Like we didn't care at all that it was like set in the 70s or anything like that. That wasn't like unique to us. It was just like, oh, this is a good show.
Yeah. Because when we were kids, we were still doing the same shit.
Yeah. Exactly. The world hadn't changed like the way it does now.
Yeah.
People were still playing outside, still out riding their bikes till the streetlights came on.
But it's interesting. I feel like we may have gotten to a point where like pop culture has slowed down in a sense that people, there's still kids wearing like Metallica shirts,
Right.
Caught up in nostalgia.
Yeah, like what was the fucking shirt I saw? Someone had like a kick-ass like Def Leppard shirt or something. And I was like, that's an awesome shirt. She's like, oh yeah, Target. I'm like, oh right. Like, and then like same thing, like another day it was like, oh, that's a dope shirt. It was like Scorsese, but it had the Scorpions font, and I was like, awesome. And they're like, oh yeah, Walmart. I'm like, oh Jesus, like fucking uphill climb I gotta do.
Yeah. It's been big for a couple years. Like people have really dived back into it.
Mm-hmm. It's really weird to see that kind of stuff, but I'm kind of glad it's there at the same time.
Well, I mean, this is we were raised under tragedy. That's really what screwed it all up. Kind of the whole world changed when we watched it. You know what I mean? Several times.
Yep, that's true.
That's I think that's why most of us like dive into that culture, because that's pretty much what we always did, because we felt safe after that. You know what I mean? Like everybody kind of dove into movies and staying home and relaxing and living.
That's why it changed. That was as big as what the change was, and that's just the ability to see This has never existed at any other point in human history, and we see everything so quickly that you get desensitized. You can't suspend disbelief anymore because you've seen things 14 different ways and in this many different angles and in this kind of resolution, and you're overwhelmed. And so for something to crack through that, like to be pop culture, to be current, to be salient and not a throwback or a nod or an Easter egg, it's not an easy task at all.
Yeah, very true. Kind of gets to a point maybe too, like with music, where it's like everything's been done, you know.
Yeah.
It's like every kind of combination of things has like happened, you know. It was like rap and metal, that's been done. Like jazz and funk, that's been done. Like, god damn it, like blues and country, that's been done. Swing and pop, done. You know, like,
let's just start throwing them all in a blender.
It's all done, damn it.
House and trance, done.
And
so am I. This conversation's over, yeah.
Whether that it's just pure silence.
Yeah. But that is probably that's probably a good time for me to transition to showing you guys some funky mashups.
Yeah.
So I will start sharing my screen right now. Let's see. First one, this is the one I did a year ago today, and I reposted this morning. We're talking about pop culture slowing down and kids still listening to some of the same bands. That certainly goes for Megadeth Becomes Her. It's probably not my best compositing work, but I just absolutely love it. And I think it's funnier when their heads are too big anyways. And it's also like when you show a chick cool music and she gets into it, and then it's like Megadeth Becomes Her. Or when she's into it and she shows it to you. It could be the other way around. So another film that we talked about today, of course, was one of my favorites and one of my first, Lost Boys in the Hood. Sleep all day, party all night, never go to college. It's fun to be a vampire. Yeah, right? Like, I would fucking watch the shit out of this movie. Oh my god.
So
yo, Michael, we got a problem here? We got a problem here?
What you talking about, Rice? Those are fucking maggots, Michael.
You killed Ricky. So we talked about movies to watch around the Halloween time. I tried to keep it horror related. Of course, we did a little rapping on Halloween today, and so this is what I call low quality, because this summer Tara won't be taking a water break. Yeah, this is in the so bad that I wish it was real category.
I want that to be so real.
Yeah, like I don't even like the Waterboy that much, and I don't even like Halloween H2O that much, but I feel like this is the way to redeem them both at the same time.
Oh my god.
So, keeping it franchise fun. Another one of my early ones. Halo Takes Manhattan. I really should have made the fucking headline say New York has 2 new problems or something. I think I got lazy with that part. But yeah, pretty self-explanatory. I was trying to do a Maiden in Manhattan with Iron Maiden's Eddie, but it got like really, I'm not that good at photoshopping. I can't like make it ride yet. One of these days I'll get it. But we also talked about, of course, the old Beverly Hills Have Eyes. Which just David Silver, what can I say? The man's got all kinds of mysterious moves. You never know what dance moves he's gonna pull next. Might dance his way into your RV and eat your baby.
Oh man.
Anything, honestly, I'd rather he fucking ate me alive than sing that Be My Love song from 90210. And I'm a big fan of him.
Oh my god.
I love it. I love it.
Sequel, I've always fucking wanted. I want this one more than I want like to live a long, healthy life.
Got
I just want
nerve.
this movie.
I want this more than any other movie ever.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Bring it.
Jeez.
that's the way you do it. Next generation, right? These kids are all parents now, minus Fat Kid, because I don't want to recast that. And yeah,
Irreplaceable.
fucking A. Irreplaceable. They all have one child each, and they those kids grew up on 80s horror shit the way they grew up on like whatever they grew up on.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of 80s horror, but and then you had the Stephen King rules. Sure.
Yes.
Nowadays, you'd have some kid like you want to be really hip, have him wear a shirt that says Mick Garris rules, and like years later, people will be like, "Ah, yeah, that's the shit." Or I don't know, maybe it has to be like Lovecraft rules, but I still vote for Mick Garris. But yeah, those are the mashups I have to share. So thank you so much, as always, and for having me on. Let me just
of course.
gab like 6 barbers on your show.
Ah, man, that's why we bring you.
I always feel like this winds up with me being like, and then when I was in the 3rd grade, my teacher said to me,
We at least covered our topic this time.
Yeah. We stayed on topic this time.
somewhat, yeah, you know.
Hey,
It's like
win's a win.
I think
I
the
like
last
driving
time,
a sailboat in circles, really.
I think the last time we really did that was our Terminator.
Hear from me anyway.
We did a Terminator episode. I don't even
Yeah,
remember
the
that.
first time we had you
off
on.
topic that night.
That was the first time we had you on.
Yep.
Oh, that's right. Okay. And I had just done one. That's why it all blurs
Yeah,
together.
because I was like, there we go. There's our talking point.
I guess I got pretty terminated that night.
I think we all did. Speaking of terminated, boys, I think this episode is terminated.
Apt. I think it is.
But Chris, Bud, as always, this is so much fun, man.
I love you guys. You guys are the
We
best.
love
Thank you so much
having
for
you
having me
on.
on, man.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll have you on here in a couple weeks.
Cool.
It's still Halloween time. We got
Hell yeah.
we got a lot more shit coming up.
Yeah.
I hear you. I'm gearing up as well for. You got
Great.
a lot of. It's gonna be pretty much all horror themed between now and Halloween on VCR Redux as well.
Nice.
So
Sweet.
stay tuned for that. This week is Teen Wolf, the Wednesday night.
If I gotta make that chat, I have to.
You gotta come on, man.
Try.
You gotta get there.
That movie is my shit.
Dude, Teen
I love them
Wolf 1 and
both.
2.
Yeah,
I gotta
love
talk
them- I
about
love
my
them.
forefathers, the original Styles is.
Yeah, yes you do. Yes, you
Original
do.
Styles, man. Stuart Fracker, Jerry Levine.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, make sure you go check out Fandom Spotlight. That's SPOTLITE
Thank you so much.
Facebook for VCR Redux featuring our good friend here, Pop Culture Punk Chris Styles. We've got a bunch of shit coming up in the next couple weeks. We got Suburban Downgrade coming. My buddies from here in Lock Haven, PA. Great punk band. Check them out if you haven't. They're on Spotify. Cheap plug. Children of October, horror punk band's coming next week. Our friend Rachel Hoffman's coming back. Chris, I believe you're going to be joining us for that episode.
Yes, that's the one. Right on.
Towards the end of October. She is a actress, producer, model, fucking supernatural, paranormal investigator. Very intelligent.
Fuck too.
Very intelligent.
It's brilliant.
We're excited to bring her back. She's awesome. But Chris, Bud, thanks again, man. We love you. Matt, Craig. Next time.
Pizza Hut introduces Great White Pizza with a blend of 4 cheeses. Or try our blend on Old Style Red. Get a large for $3.99 with your favorite Pizza Hut pizza.